This is a video demonstration for Lab Practical 2 for the subject of client-server computing. And I have 7 tasks to complete. Login page, login verification, main page with menu option upon successful login verification, registration form, and so on and so on. So these are my codes. I have a total of 11 different coding files, different source code files, and 4 of them are GSP files, while 7 of them are servlet files, Java files. I use MariaDB for the database and Tomcat to run the GSP and servlet files. So I can run the server right now. Once I run the server, Tomcat will automatically execute the index.jsp. So, yeah, there you go. So for the index.jsp is basically the login page. So I have the CSS on the top, and these are the coding, basically HTML for it. These are the coding. I have created one user in the database. We'll get to it later. So in index.jsp, the form action method is post, and the action is login check, which will call this Java file, and it will get the email. We get the email and password parameter, and it will hash that password for security. So I use MD5 hash, and then I prepared a statement for the SQL. I select from user, which is the table that I've created for user, where email and the user password has to be the same. So if it's the same, it will take me to the menu.jsp, which is right here. If it's not the same, it will bring me back to the login page with an error. So let's see that in action. So let's try to just enter anything that is wrong, and password 7 whatever. If I press login, it will bring me back to the login page, and it will say wrong email or password combination. But if I put in the correct information, which is my email, and my password is admin123, now login, it will bring me to the menu dashboard with a session. So I've created a session. So you can see here, HTTP session, get session, and I use the username from the table as the session name. So this is session name. So in the menu.jsp, right here, so we have the first one is search records, second one is view records, and the third one is logout. So search records, you can search the record that is in the table of the user database, and view records shows all the records. Logout logs you out from the menu. So logout calls the menu.java. So successfully logged out, and it will show a timestamp, and it will send that timestamp string to the index.jsp, and it will show like this: successfully logged out on 2022, 5/18, 16, 12, 15, and milliseconds. So for the second one is the register. So let's try to create a new user. So for the registration, which is the signup.jsp, I have a bunch of country here. That's why the code is quite long. And then it will call, give me a moment. It will call a signup action, which is signup.java right here. So in this signup action, it will request a parameter from each of the label, each of these things. And it also has a verification controller. So if the email is empty, or the password is empty, or the username is empty, and so on and so on. So let's try to demonstrate that. If I just press register, it will show this thing. And if I enter a password but not email and other things, it will, wait a minute. If I enter just the email, so yeah. So let's try to create a new user for real. 123@gmail.com. Audrey123. Username is Dre. 33 LP. To Muller. So that's our country, Aruba. Actually, let's do something different because that is the same as mine. So we come on. And for 43300, and let's do female for that, and register. Once you've registered, it will take you to the menu with the session. So we have 2 users, and if we click view records, it will show the 2 users that I've created. And there's an action that you can do. So this is view. So view is here. There are 2 actions that you can do, which are edit and delete, which calls the edit.java and the delete.java. So the edit.java, so if I were to edit Audrey's or mine, basically mine, let's try to edit mine, change mine to female, and make mine Malaysia, or maybe Mozambique. And my password is admin123. And once I've updated that, it will show that I am now from Mozambique, sex is male. And if you're wondering about the user pass, this is the MD5 hash user password for security reasons. Even though I typed in admin123, it will show this so that users that hacked into the database wouldn't know what the password for the users are. So this is solely for security purposes. So if we click on search records, it will bring us to adminsearch.jsp, which is right here. Adminsearch.jsp is a simple code right here. It will call a search. In the search, it will get the search parameter here, and it will compare that to either a username or email. So I can enter either a username or email. So if I enter a username, or if I enter email, it will show me the record. And if I were to search for a username, it will also show me the record. So I can do that for Dre too. And I can also edit and delete from the search. So if I were to delete Audrey's, and that data is now gone, and I can successfully log out, and that is basically it. I hope I have fulfilled all 7 tasks: log out success with timestamp, display and search, update and delete, registration and controller, main page menu, login verification, and login page. So that is all from me. For the delete.java, which I haven't explained yet, and basically it uses the get function, and then it execute the query from delete from user where user ID is selected in the table. Same goes to edit user ID, and then it will change correspondingly. I don't know. Okay, that's all from me.